Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. The epic clash we've all been counting down to. North Texas versus Texas State. A battle so electrifying it might even make you reconsider that nap you were planning. On one side, we have the North Texas Mean Green, 6-6, who heroically squeaked their way into bowl eligibility with a nail-biter 24-17 win over the mighty Temple Owls. Their quarterback, Chandler Morris, truly redefined greatness by completing 21 of 40 passes for 180 yards and a single touchdown. He also treated us to 2 whole rushes for 17 yards. Because why run when you can dazzle with mediocrity? On the other side, the Texas State Bobcats, 7-5, are riding the high of their gritty 45-38 win over South Alabama. Senior quarterback Jordan McCloud graced the field with a pair of interceptions, just to keep things exciting, while throwing for 248 yards and running in a touchdown. Clearly, both teams are arriving in peak form, assuming lukewarm is now the gold standard for hot. North Texas brings to the table their elite offensive strategy of converting a whopping 7 of 19 third downs, paired with a defense that proudly ranks 121st in the nation by allowing a cozy 34.5 points per game. But fear not, they're ready for the challenge with backup QB Drew Mestemaker, who is set to inspire something. And they'll also be missing their top receiver, DT Sheffield, who was only responsible for, 35% of their touchdown receptions. Nothing to worry about there. Meanwhile, Texas State has a slightly better offense, averaging 41.6 points per game, and a defense that's somewhere between meh and it could be worse. Sure, they might limit starting QB Jordan McCloud snaps, but hey, why not handicap yourself when facing a team that's already limping into the game? At least Texas State isn't 0-6 in their last 6 bowl appearances like their opponents, so they've got that going for them. The prediction? Texas State should easily cover the spread at minus 13.5 points. Expecting an explosive game, though, don't get your hopes up. Both teams are missing key offensive pieces, and with North Texas breaking in a backup quarterback, the real winners might just be the punters. Definitely hammer the under 61.5 points, because there's nothing quite like cheering for a game where the highlight is a field goal. Now here are the best game prop picks for the North Texas versus Texas State matchup. Texas State winning margin, 13 plus points. Yes, Texas State is favored at minus 13.5, and why wouldn't they be? They're the unstoppable force in this matchup, especially when compared to a North Texas team that treats bowl games like optional participation events. With a sparkling 0-6 record in their last 6 bowl outings, the Mean Green have really mastered the art of making postseason appearances feel utterly pointless. And let's talk about that offensive firepower North Texas is bringing to the table. Their backup QB, Drew Mestemaker, will be stepping in, undoubtedly ready to light up the field, or at least attempt to hold a football without tripping. And they're also missing their top wide receiver, DT Sheffield, who was responsible for only 11 of their 31 touchdown receptions this season. No big deal, right? Who needs a reliable receiver in a game that basically defines your season? Meanwhile, Texas State has the audacity to come in as a functioning football team with a better offense, better defense, and let's face it, a better everything. Even if senior QB Jordan McCloud takes a reduced role, they still have more than enough to breeze past a North Texas squad that's likely wondering why they even showed up. So yes, expecting Texas State to win by at least 2 touchdowns isn't just reasonable, it's generous. If this game stays remotely close, it'll be less about North Texas stepping up and more about Texas State deciding to play with one hand tied behind their back for fun. North Texas team, total under 20.5. North Texas scoring more than 20.5 points? Bold of anyone to even entertain the idea. With their backup QB, Drew Mestemaker, stepping in, you can surely expect elite offensive production. After all, nothing says offensive juggernaut like tossing a guy into the spotlight who probably spent most of the season perfecting his clipboard-holding technique. And let's not forget the absence of their top receiver, DT Sheffield. The guy who was responsible for a measly 11 of their 31 touchdown receptions this season. No biggie, it's not like a reliable, game-changing receiver is important or anything. Surely the rest of the receiving core, brimming with untapped potential, limited experience, will seamlessly fill the void. Texas State's defense, while not exactly the 1985 Bears, should have no problem containing whatever North Texas tries to pass off as an offense. They've been generous enough to allow 34.5 points per game all season. So what better time to look competent than against a team missing its two most important offensive players? Honestly, expecting North Texas to score more than 20 points feels like betting on a turtle to win the 100-meter dash. It could happen, but only if everyone else suddenly decides to take a nap mid-race. First half total points under 30.5. Oh, a first half shootout? Don't hold your breath. With both offenses missing key pieces, the first half of this game is shaping up to be a riveting showcase of punts, stalled drives, and maybe a field goal or two for the thrill seekers. North Texas, led by their backup QB Drew Mestemaker, will likely spend the first half adjusting, which is a nice way of saying they'll be scrambling to figure out how to gain more than 3 yards per play. Let's not forget they're also missing their top receiver, DT Sheffield, so Messmaker's options are essentially reduced to hoping someone accidentally gets open or just handing the ball off and praying. On the other side, Texas State might need a minute to find their groove, especially if they're limiting snaps for their starting QB, Jordan McCloud. Because, why not give the backup some reps in a bowl game? Makes total sense. The result? A first half where the scoreboard operator could probably take a coffee break without anyone noticing. With all this explosive offensive talent on display, expecting more than 30.5 points in the first half feels optimistic at best, delusional at worst. This is the kind of game where every first down might get a standing ovation, and fans will be reminiscing about the good old days of high-scoring football by halftime. Jordan McCloud, anytime touchdown scorer. Oh, Jordan McCloud finding the end zone? What a stretch. Sure, he only scored a rushing touchdown against South Alabama, but let's not make a big deal about the fact that he's a proven dual-threat quarterback. Even if Texas State decides to give him limited snaps, because apparently keeping your best player in the game isn't trendy, he's still more than capable of running circles around the North Texas defense. And let's talk about that defense for a moment. They've been so generous this season, allowing 34.5 points per game, a rock-solid 121st in the nation. It's almost as if they've adopted a make-everyone-feel-like-a-winner approach to football. So yes, McCloud, even with limited playing time, will probably find himself in the red zone at some point, where his experience and mobility will allow him to stroll into the end zone like it's a Sunday jog. If you're betting against McCloud scoring in this game, you might as well bet against gravity too. Because when it comes to a guy like McCloud facing a defense like this, a touchdown feels less like a prediction and more like an inevitability. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. I'm sure you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling installment of this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because clearly you don't want to miss any of our daily videos. I mean, who could live without them? And while you're at it, smash that notification bell, so you can be the first to know when we drop more gems like this. Oh, and if you're looking for some premium picks, because, let's be honest, who isn't? Join our Patreon. It's where the real magic happens. Premium picks, insider info, and possibly even some mildly entertaining banter. So, hit that link, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, enjoy the game, make those bets, and remember, you're welcome.